Good morning, everyone. We're about to begin meditation. Welcome to today's meditation. My name is Anne Ahokangas, and I invite you to join with me in this meditation on awakening and affirmations. So get yourself comfortable and close your eyes softly. Relax your shoulders. Just feel yourself melting into the spot that you're in. And let's begin by asking a few questions of the 5 areas of life. Where in my physical life can I surrender a little more? Where can I let go of my attachment? And now ask, in my emotions, in my emotional world, where could I surrender just a little bit more? Where could I allow? And now drifting slowly into the material world. Where in my material world could I surrender just a bit? And now opening up to receiving. Open your hands as opposed to closing them. Now let's focus on the realm of relationships. Where could I surrender just a bit more? Where could I allow? Where could I release imposing my will? Which relationships could I let go of? And which relationships could I open my heart to just a bit more? And now bring your awareness to your spiritual life, on your purpose, on your connection, and ask, where could I surrender just a bit more? Regarding my connection to spirit, to source, to the all that is, where could I trust? Where could I trust the universe in my life just a little bit more? How can I trust that this moment is perfect? Breathing in, knowing that you are exactly where you're supposed to be right now. That the physical world, the emotional world, the material world, the relationship world, and the spiritual world will benefit and do benefit from a little bit more. So accepting that you are here in this precious, sacred moment, bringing only what you can bring. So allow the universe to unfold with grace and ease, rather than forcing your solution or your point of view. So taking a deep breath. Give yourself permission today, right now, to allow these words to be the truth of your being. Join with me in the I am. I know that asking for help is a sign of self-respect and self-awareness. I know that changing my mind is a strength, not a weakness. Every decision I make is supported by my whole and complete self. I affirm and encourage others as I do myself. I alone hold the truth of who I am. I am allowed to ask for what I want and what I need. I easily ask for what I want and what I need. I am allowed to feel good. I feel good now. I easily balance everything in my life. I am complete as I am, and others support me in being who I am. I am content and release all pain. I do the work that works for me. I am good and getting better every minute. I continue to grow and evolve, and I am going at my own pace. I am held and supported by those who love me. I am in charge of how I feel, and I choose to feel happy. I am listening and open to the messages that Source within has to offer today. I am loved and worthy. I am more than my circumstances. I am open to healing. Within me is all I require to fully heal. I am optimistic, for today is a new day. I am peaceful and whole. I am enough, just as I am, and I deserve all the best life has to offer. Responsibility begins with me. I am safe and surrounded by love and support. I am still learning, so it's okay to make mistakes. I am understood, and my perspective is important. I am valued and helpful. I am well rested and excited for the day. I am worthy, so I invest in myself. I belong here, and I deserve to take up space. I breathe in healing and exhale the painful things that weigh heavily on my heart. I feel free and light. I breathe in trust. I exhale doubt. I am soft in my heart and firm in my boundaries. I choose to control how I respond. I celebrate the good qualities in others and myself. I am a reflection, and life is a reflection of me. I deserve an affirming touch on my own terms. I deserve information, and I deserve moments of silence too. I deserve self-respect and a clean space. As love, I do things in love. There is always help for me. I easily am exactly who I am. I go easily through life and honor the stillness at times. I embrace change and rise to the new opportunity it presents. I embrace the questions in my mind and welcome the answers in my heart in their own time. I grow in my interests, attracted to what makes my heart sing. I have come farther than I could have ever thought possible, and I continue to expand in the most amazing ways. I have everything I require to succeed. I hold community for others and am held in community by others. I have a wisdom beyond knowledge at the core of my being. As I invite abundance, my heart expands in generosity. I invite more art and music into my life. I make room for my life to be more spontaneous. I let go of things that no longer serve me. I make peace with things that are not mine. I look forward to tomorrow and the opportunities. I love that I love what I love. I make decisions based on a good gut feeling. I make changes based on a growing heart. I make time to experience grief and sadness when necessary. I nourish myself with kind words and joyful foods. I practice gratitude for all that I have and all that is yet to come. I release the fears that do not serve me. I respect the cycles of life. I seek out the mystery and wonder in the ordinary. I tell the truth about who I am and what I require from others. I welcome the wisdom that comes from growing older. I welcome what is. I welcome what comes. I allow myself to evolve. Letting go creates space for opportunities to come. I release what no longer serves me. My body is beautiful in this moment. My body is worthy of being cared for. My feelings deserve to be felt. My heart is open to helpfulness from myself and others. My heart is my guide. My life is easy and comfortable. My perspective is unique and important. My pleasure is unique to me. My sensitivity is beautiful, and my feelings and emotions are valid and important. My weirdness is wonderful. Saying no is an act of self-affirmation. Sometimes the work I need is to rest. I remember that growth can be stillness. There is peace in changing my mind when it is done in love. I see the beauty in everything. So today I look for the beauty. There is always room for me at the table. There is something in this world that only I can do. This is why I am here. There is strength in quiet, and there can be vulnerability in being loud. Today I celebrate that I am younger than I'm ever going to be. Today is an opportunity to grow and learn. I am infinitely brave when I focus on my reason for being. As I forgive myself, I free myself. As I release shame, I move into myself more beautifully. As I ground myself and root myself into the earth rises up to support me. When I speak my needs, when I ask, I receive abundantly. As I talk to myself as I would a friend, I see all my best qualities, and I allow myself to shine. Words may shape my life, but they don't make me who I am. I am who I am already. And as I breathe into these truths, with a grateful heart I let go and let it be so. Please join with me in affirming, and so it is.
everyone. Welcome to Unity Spiritual Center on this lovely spring day that's full of sunshine, and I can see from everybody's faces that they are in a good mood. That's wonderful. Welcome to those of you who are online. We are grateful as always for your presence. And as you know, I should say, my name is Marcia Daly, and we do not have any visitors today for the first time. Maybe online. If you are online and you're just checking us out for the first time, welcome. 10% of all we receive goes back out into the community to bless and serve, and we are blessing in this quarter Food for Kids Ontario and Unity Canada. And if by any chance you know of any local charities that you'd like us to support, please let us know. And so we start with I'm Worthy by Karen Drucker, and sung for us by our very own Emilio.
Hello. People try to tell me who I'm supposed to be, but now I know the truth, and that truth has set me free. The media tries to tell me each and every day how to look and how to act, what to feel and what to say, but I have a secret I've known since birth. I say I'm whole, I'm complete, and I know what I'm worth. They can tell me I'm lazy, tell me I'm fat. I can give them the power, but I know better than that. I'm a child of love here on this earth. I am
Whole and I'm complete, and I know what I'm worth.
I
Know what I'm worth.
when push comes to shove.
Know what I'm
I
worth.
am a beacon of love.
Know what I'm worth.
I'm an angel of light.
Shining, 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 so bright. I'm worthy. I'm worthy. I'm worthy.
I would compare myself to everyone I see. I didn't know the power
In me.
but when I need a shot of self-worth, I say I'm
Whole and I'm complete, and I know what I'm worth.
I say no to that. Oh, not yet. I say no to anyone who tries to judge me. I say yes to my own
Divinity.
This new way of being feels like rebirth. I'm
Whole
whole
and I'm
and
complete, and I know what I'm worth.
I
Know what I'm worth.
when push comes to shove.
Know what I'm worth.
I am a beacon of love.
Know what I'm worth.
I'm an angel of light.
Shining, 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 so bright. I'm worthy.
Yeah,
I'm worthy.
I say it every day.
I'm worthy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Worthy, worthy. I'm worthy. I know what I'm worth. I know what I'm worth. I know it, know it, know it. Know what I'm worth. I know what I'm worth. I know it, know it, know it. Know what I'm worth. I know what I'm worth. I know it, know it, know it. Know what I'm worth. I know what I'm worth. I know what I'm worth. When push comes to shove,
Know what I'm worth.
I am a beacon of love.
Know what I'm worth.
I'm an angel of light.
Shining, shining,
You've got to be quick with that one.
Definitely in the morning.
So, hello, everyone, those of you watching online. I'm Reverend Ann Ahokangas, and I'd like to start with prayer. So, close your eyes if that's comfortable. And let's get centered in the I am, recognizing there is only one thing that's going on here, and that is spirit. So I allow the whirling thoughts that are going on in my head to be set aside just for a moment as I bring my attention to where I connect with spirit, which is in my heart center. It is this place of absolute peace and joy and sanctuary, where I know that I am fully supported, where I can go at any time to remind me that I am not alone, that I am always fully embraced by a supportive, loving source, spirit, God, whatever I choose to call it. And I know that it is my thoughts and my beliefs that create my life. And so when I go here to this center, I remember that I'm safe and that all is well. And as I think those thoughts that I am safe and all is well, life shows up exactly like that. So today I choose to move forward in affirming that I am fully supported, fully loved, and always have everything I require to move through whatever may present itself. So with a grateful heart, I let go and I let it be so. Please join with me in affirming, and so it is. And I'll be gentle with myself.
I will be gentle with myself. I will be gentle with myself. And I will hold myself like a newborn baby child. I will be gentle with myself. I will be gentle with myself. And I will hold myself like a newborn baby child. I will be tender with my heart. I will be tender with my heart. And I will hold my heart like a newborn baby child. I will be tender with my heart. I will be tender with my heart. And I will hold my heart like a newborn baby child. And I will only go as fast as the slowest part of me feels safe to go. I will only go as fast as the slowest part of me feels safe to go. I will be easy on myself. I will be easy on myself. And I love myself like a newborn baby child. I will be gentle with myself. I will be gentle with myself. And I will rock myself like a newborn baby child. And I'll hold myself like a newborn baby child. And I'll love myself like a newborn baby child. I love myself like a newborn baby child.
The word for today from the Absolute Word is self-care. And the affirmation says, I take care of my mind and body. My spirit is timeless, whole, and perfect. Jesus taught us to love one another as ourselves. Care of ourselves is one way we demonstrate love for ourselves. I can better care for others when I have taken care of myself. We are threefold beings: body, mind, and spirit. My body and mind need care. Spirit needs no care, since it is timelessly whole and perfect. I love and care for my body with good nutrition, adequate exercise, and good grooming habits. I love and care for my mind by reading books and magazines that I can use to inspire and uplift myself. I take care to remember my spirit, my divinity, by praying and meditating daily.
Love myself the way I am. There's nothing I need to change. I'll always be the perfect me. There's nothing to rearrange. I'm beautiful and capable of being the best me I can. And I love myself just the way I am. I love you just the way you are. There's nothing you need to do. When I feel the love inside myself, it's easy to love you. Behind your fears, your rage and tears, I see your shining star. And I love you just the way you are. I love the world the way it is, 'cause I can clearly see that all the things I judge are done by people just like me. So till the birth of peace on earth that only love can bring, I'll help it grow by loving everything. I love myself the way I am, and still I want to grow. But change outside can only come when deep inside I know I'm beautiful and capable of being the best me I can. And I love myself just the way just the way I am.
Beautiful song. I still have a little frog in my throat. It's decided that it's not paying rent, though, so it's gotta go. But I'm ready. I have water. So today we're talking about boundaries. And you know, I think that you may have this preconceived idea about what I'm going to talk about. And I think I may surprise you. Because I'll start with the question of, what do you think boundaries are? And just leave you thinking about that. And then, can they create a healthier life? And what's a healthy boundary? And where did that come from? And what's a not healthy boundary? And what does that mean? So are you ready? So what is one thing you learned about boundaries from your mother? Somebody said, what will the neighbors think? Is that a boundary? Don't do it because what will the neighbors think? Someone said she didn't have any. Anyone else? Lines that couldn't be crossed. Yeah, it's interesting. Those are the typical things, aren't they? I was talking with my granddaughter and my daughter-in-law and son this morning because it is Mother's Day, and that's why we're talking about what boundaries did you learn from your mother. And so my daughter-in-law said, well, her mother basically told her to don't go on the ice without supervision because it could be dangerous. And today she skates on ice that is dangerous and has a long pole just in case she might fall in so that it keeps her from falling in, and does it with a group of people. And she had not put two and two together. I said, do you realize that that rule that Mom gave you, you're probably busting through it because of what you're doing? She started laughing, saying, yeah, isn't that funny? And I thought about my own mother, and I always had really contentious relationship with my own mother. And I didn't really understand why that was. And asking this question of myself revealed the answer. My mother was 16 when I was born. And so by the time that I was around 16 and a little bit older, we were pretty much like friends or sisters. And so my mother was the boundary setting, rule setting mother only when it didn't fit the friendship model. And so I never knew when the hammer was going to come down. And so I was always on guard. And I thought, wow, that's a really good thing to understand. And when I brought my son up, because I asked him, what boundaries did you learn from me? And he said, you basically explained everything to me when I had to make a decision. So I always made decisions based on whether it was the right thing to do or not. It wasn't because you gave me the rules, it's because you had me be introspective. And so I guess I learned to be a mom from that viewpoint of, rather than saying that's right and that's wrong, to say, okay, think about the repercussions of this and look at the big picture, which I didn't receive. And I understand that at 16, what do you know about being a mother? So it's a fascinating topic. So I'd like to look at boundaries, something called blinders, and time to change or expand. So this was from the Bible, because I like to throw the Bible in once in a while. So do not let your neighbor's house become an extension of your own life. From Proverbs. So what does that mean? In essence, be your own person. Or don't judge yourself through the other people's eyes. To make up your own mind. And I'd like to have you think about this. We aren't separate, so why would I need boundaries? If I'm not separate from you, why do I need boundaries? What am I actually protecting? Isn't the whole idea not to be attached
to the needs of my ego? I mean, they're all valid questions. You may have answers, and maybe it's just giving you more questions. Some think being in love meant you weren't supposed to have boundaries. I certainly learned about boundaries by not having any boundaries. Did you? Especially in being in love, because it was so much more intimate than just a friendship, right? Boundary issues are actually more complex than just inappropriate language or action, and their complexities are revealed only after you have some clarity. And that clarity comes from bumping up against something that was like, oh, I think I have a boundary here. Or, ooh, so-and-so obviously has a boundary there that was maybe unspoken. So mastering the issue of boundaries does not happen all at once. I mean, we don't come into this world knowing boundaries. We really don't. It's a gradual process that eventually leads to a more powerful and authentic you if you pay attention and you speak to them and you honor others. So I liked this definition. Boundaries are symbolic force fields that allow you to have a sense of self. Have you ever turned around in an elevator and faced everybody else that's in there? You discover boundaries really quick, including your own, right? Or if you meet new people and some of them just want to hug you and you're not a hugger. Or just turn to somebody right now and look at them in the face and lean in close. And you'll also discover the sense of boundaries, right? So here's a question. Are all boundaries healthy? Okay, so can you think of an example of an unhealthy boundary?
Someone's violating your boundaries.
Okay, that's not quite the answer to the question. When someone's violating your boundaries. But are all boundaries healthy? As in your personal boundaries or someone else's? And you see how complex this starts to get if you have to start thinking about it? So I'm going to go a little deeper into that. But thank you, Bruce. So let's look at blinders. You've heard that term, haven't you? So what does it mean to have your blinders on? So it's an idiom in the US. In the UK, they call them blinkers. To be able to only see things in one way and unwilling or unable to consider other possibilities. We had a bit of that right now with Bruce, with the idea of boundaries. Having a more expansive definition of boundaries would be something where you might have your blinders on about what boundaries are, depending on whether you actually have thought about it and thought about what the definition is. So blinders can be used metaphorically to represent boundaries, particularly those that restrict vision and perspective. Like, think about a horse. You put blinders on a horse or blinkers on a horse so that it can stay going in a particular path and not be distracted by things on either side. How often do we put intentionally blinders on so that we're not distracted by other things? And we do. There are things that we do that we choose to ignore everything else so that we can get that thing done, whatever it is, or move through that emotional situation, or it could be a positive or a negative experience. Metaphorically, blinders can refer to limitations in seeing the full picture or considering different possibilities. When have you thought you're so right you put your blinders on? It's like, there is no way anyone's going to convince me that my opinion isn't right. That's putting blinders on. Or blinders can be something as simple as someone is really, really attempting to help you because you can't see the danger that you're in, and you've got blinders on, which is also boundaries. So blinders, narrowing perspective. The term blinders is used to describe someone who has a limited or narrow viewpoint. This can mean that they're unwilling or unable to consider other viewpoints or possibilities. I didn't know what it was like to be a mother till I was a mother. So in a way, I had blinders on about how people who were mothers behaved. So that's a narrow perspective. And I think we all have those in certain areas till we don't. Physically, blinders, like horse blinkers, restrict a horse's vision to the front, preventing them from seeing what's behind or to the sides. This is a direct analogy for the metaphorical use of blinders to describe limitations in seeing or understanding. You know, they say that some fundamental Christians have their blinkers on, because if they were to take another viewpoint on what the interpretation is, they may have to change their mind, and they're much more comfortable staying where they are. And that's just an example from religion. There are many, many other types of examples. So limitations in awareness. The phrase wearing blinders can also suggest a lack of awareness or understanding. It can mean someone's not fully aware of the context or all the relevant information about a situation. You know, I've described people sometimes when they're behaving like they've got blinders on, a bit like the drunk who doesn't know he's so drunk he can't drive. That person has blinders on to that degree. They don't know they're in trouble. They just think they're okay. And there are individuals in life that, because of whatever situation, whether it be mental, physical, educational, any of those things, have blinders on if they don't have the full picture. So here's some examples. In a relationship, someone wearing blinders might be unwilling to acknowledge their partner's negative behavior, or might minimize the impact of their partner's actions. Extreme example, an abusive relationship where the person being abused has blinders on. Oh, you know, it's going to go away. Another example, narrow-mindedness. He seemed to have blinders on when it came to understanding other cultures, meaning he was unwilling or unable to see things from a different viewpoint. That having blinders on can mean that you have a bias about something. Ignoring feedback. A person might be described as wearing blinders when they dismiss or ignore feedback because they're too focused on their way of doing things. Do you need to be right? And so blinders go on. It's like, there is no way you're telling me to do this a different way. See my blinders, my blinkers? Don't confuse me with the facts. Resistance to change. They have blinders on about new technology. Could mean that they're unwilling to consider or adopt new tools and methods. Just an absolute resistance. And that's having blinders on. And yet, you know, there is so much in the world that if we were aware of the blinders that we have on and release them, whatever they may be, how much grander and more wonderful life could be. So you're probably going to notice your blinders this week because we talked about it. So focus on the present, not about future outcomes, is one of the ways to take the blinders off. What's really going on here? Why am I feeling so resistant? Why did I just get angry about that? Why do I feel so confused or lost? Arrogance. A leader might be said to be wearing blinders if they're unwilling to acknowledge their own mistakes and learn from others. That's happening in the political arena these days. Ignoring evidence. Someone might be described as wearing blinders if they're unwilling to consider evidence that contradicts their beliefs. We kind of touched on that. Are you resistant about hearing someone else's viewpoint? Can you just hear someone else's viewpoint, even if you don't agree, and just say, okay, and let them believe what they want to believe? And having blinders on can prevent someone from adapting to new situations, innovating, or making sound decisions. And that's really why I'm touching on this. So can you see how boundaries goes way beyond the idea of what you thought boundaries were? I mean, we're constantly in change, in flux, new situations, new challenges, new fun things, aging, new education around different things, limitations. And to be able to be open and ask Spirit within, what's the next thing to do here, because I'm really not feeling comfortable. And allowing that to be the segue, the opening, because the wisdom's there. So, is it time to change or expand? Did I touch on some stuff today that maybe pushed your buttons? Maybe you noticed, ooh, I know somebody who's got blinders on, or ooh, you know what? If you know someone who's got blinders on, it's because you do too, about something, or else you wouldn't recognize it. And what is it that you're strictly hanging on to that maybe a lighter touch might be called for? So here's a statement. Boundaries are there to protect something, right? Yeah. Sometimes they're there to protect something from when you were very young, from your early childhood. And those boundaries were never challenged. And so, are they still relevant today is the question to ask. Am I still going to have those experiences that created those boundaries in the first place? And if not, then why am I still walling up? This means that emotional guarding often originates from earlier experiences, which makes sense, right? Times when we felt unsafe or hurt or emotionally neglected. And as you grow older, these defenses actually can solidify if you let them, causing you to disengage from relationships in the world around you. And so sometimes if you don't understand why someone might be that guarded, is because those boundaries got really solid. Because the safety part of things wasn't a big component of growing up. So what can we do now if you've noticed that you have a big wall? And maybe the wall is around intimate relationships or something like that. What might you do? Sometimes the easy thing to do is just to not put yourself in that situation. But is that really healing it? Because I think sometimes speaking to it with either the individuals involved or with yourself or journaling it or speaking to a counselor can make a really big difference. So do you have any old outworn boundaries that you're keeping that are keeping you from your best experience? I have a boundary, one that comes up, and it's showing up as my weight. And I don't really know what I'm protecting myself from. I have an idea, but it occurred because of self-preservation somehow. And so, you know, I've spent the last 6 months with medical help to attempt to lose weight. I've lost like 30 pounds. Not much in 6 months. It's still something, yes, but it's not much because it's the 30 pounds I gained when I had surgery and couldn't move. So I've gone back to what that status quo weight was. So I ask myself, so why do I see it's not calories in, calories out for me? It's some emotional boundary that I have set. And I'm saying this not for you to feel badly for me, But you too have some emotional boundaries that you have created in your body that are affecting your relationships. Maybe it's your work, maybe it's how good you feel about yourself, worthiness, all of those things. And for me, I know that my ultimate healing is not going to come only when I die. It's going to come when I eventually figure out what is it that I'm trying to protect myself from, that no longer is the issue. So can you relate to that? It's fascinating. And maybe you can't think of something for yourself, but maybe this is allowing you to be gentler with those around you that you don't understand. Like, why are you like that? You might say to yourself. They probably don't know either, but they're doing the best they can in protecting themselves. So my next step, if chemical intervention isn't making the difference, then I've got to go gold mining for whatever it is that's there and discover it. And hopefully I do before I get the ultimate healing, which is croaking. I would much rather have some fun before that. So emotional boundaries are often defense mechanisms. And that makes sense, but it can be scary to dig into that. And there are unconscious or conscious barriers to shield ourselves from emotional pain, intimacy, and vulnerability. And that's just the way we're hardwired. So taking off the blinders or overcoming emotional barriers involves becoming aware of the underlying fear or limiting belief, then questioning it, and taking steps to build trust and vulnerability. So when you see me as a slimmer me, you'll know that my investigations have yielded some positive results. In the meantime, I continue to be satisfied with where I'm at, because if I beat myself up about it, I'm going to get more of that, right? So this can be achieved through awareness and questioning, identifying the barriers, recognizing the specific fears or limiting beliefs that are holding you back, challenging your beliefs. Ask yourself if these beliefs are actually true or if they're based on past experiences. I'm sure for me it's past experiences. Visualize success. That's one thing I haven't been doing enough of. So I invite you, if you haven't been visualizing the successful outcome of whatever it is that's challenging you, then start today. Building trust and vulnerability. A big part for me of building trust and vulnerability is telling you about my fat issues. So are you willing to talk about something that you have issues around and be vulnerable about it and trust that it's part of the healing process? And then, of course, taking action. Focus on what you can control. Shift your attention to what you can actively do to move towards your goals. Accept failures as learning opportunities rather than, it's not working. Instead, say, well, I tried that didn't work, so I don't have to try it again. View setbacks as chances to grow and improve. Do you remember that statement that you learned, something about setbacks? No. Yeah, it was a really good one. It may come to you. Be patient and persistent. The first word being patient. Overcoming emotional barriers takes time and effort. So be patient with yourself and keep practicing.
Setbacks are setups.
Setbacks or setups. See, I knew you'd remember, Amelia. So how do you tear down or break through mindset walls? How do you do that? Well, you've got to know it's there first. So awareness is one of them. When you're aware in the moment, like if you're living more deliberately, which we all are really trying to do, aren't we? Recognizing that you're up against a wall in your mind, because that's where it is. It's in your mind. Like for me, it's not in the calories. It's in my mind. So each time you stop in awareness, you can choose again. Now I'm going to end with this and just a couple more slides. But I was watching a movie called Nonna yesterday on Netflix. And it's all these grandmothers who are hired to be chefs in an Italian restaurant. And it's really cute. And one of the statements they said was, don't let old hurts get in the way of a happy new beginning. So if you've been, oh, I won't do that because, and you remember the old hurt, why not say this instead? I'm not going to let that old hurt get in the way of this happy new beginning. Because Spirit is constantly saying yes to who you're being. I mean, I have so miraculously maintained this weight in spite of everything I've done that is supposed to be chemical, and yet have I really truly explored my mind? Well, like I said, I'll keep you posted. So we looked at boundaries and how complex they are, at blinders or blinkers, and that we all have them. And maybe it's time to take the blinkers off, because you decide.
Thank you. Wow. Love it. I decide what matters to me. It's my decision to be in the flow. And I decide what to let in, and I decide what's got to go. Yes, I'm the one with the power to choose every thought and every belief. Yes, I'm the one with the voice inside that has the power to set me free. Oh, I decide what matters to me. It's my decision to be in the flow. And I decide what to let in, and I decide what's got to go. Yes, I'm the only one who knows what's true, for the true self who lives in me. Yes, I'm the only one who's all I ever know, what my body, mind, and soul really needs. And that is why I decide what matters to me. It's my decision to be in the flow. And I decide what to let in, and I decide what's got to go. Oh, but every time I forget my own power and start doing what I think I should do, gonna take a step back and pull my soul in so I can listen to the voice that's true. It always says, I decide what matters to me. It's my decision to be in the flow. And I decide what to let in, and I decide what's got to go. I decide what matters to me. Oh, no. I decide what matters to me. It's my decision to be in the flow. I decide to let in, and I decide what's got to go. Yo, I decide what's got to go. Yes, I decide what matters to me. Bum, 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 bum.
Sing the song your own. What's your takeaway today? And those of you online, you can tell us what your takeaway is too. Don't all rush at once. Yes, Bruce, the mic.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Maybe ask the people online about their mothering boundaries.
Oh yeah, that would be a good thing to share. Would you tell us onliners what were your mothering boundaries? And as we're waiting, Bruce, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers and mothers to be.
Yeah, I just want to, congratulate all the mothers here. And the stereo was awesome. The more mothers here between Emilio singing, the stereo is awesome. Anyway, boundaries. You were talking about resistance to change, new things. Well, for me, it's I got to trust the way I do things. And anything new like e-pay and some of these things, I go, you got to be joking. You hear a story about someone getting victimized by it. It takes 3 months to get their money back. Going, I'll stick to writing checks, Canadian Mail Service, and using the Canadian libraries. Thank you very much.
Well, Bruce, I would like to address that, and that is that why are you always going in this moment to the negative of what might happen if you do something new? And I want you to think about that for next week.
Well, darn, I was going to second Bruce's motion there.
Okay, I have something, and I think it was Sheila who mentioned this. The acronym for FAIL is Further Attempt in Learning. And I really carry that with me now because it's so true.
I'm thinking that anytime I feel like I'm reacting strongly to something, I should check for boundaries or blinkers being there. Right? If I'm responding negatively or really positively, what's going on with that?
Oh, good, we have something from the people at home that just appeared. Gertie says, I admire your openness, Reverend Ann, and I second that emotion. Sharing your vulnerability was really brave. Thank you. And she says, you have inspired me to journal on my worn out boundaries. Thank you. That's Gertie. And Diane says, my mom's boundary, don't talk back. And then, I don't know, this isn't really about boundaries, but something that came up while you were talking was when you were talking about having blinders on. And I'm thinking, it'll be interesting to watch what happens on the world scene because 52% of Catholics voted for the orange guy. And the new Pope is not a fan of the orange guy. So it's going to be interesting to see if there's a shift there. The orange guy, you know. The guy below the border. Anybody else? No?
Jackie, did you want to say something?
Well, I just thought of something. It's probably a good idea that we do have a border between, so we can be Canadian as we want.
The boundaries question is one I've been exploring a lot lately, divine timing, and that question of if we're all one, where and what does healthy boundary mean? And what the idea that I'm working with at the moment is boundaries formed from or in love are healthy boundaries, and boundaries formed in or from fear are probably unhealthy boundaries. And recognizing that changes, like a boundary that was initially formed in fear can shift to one that is formed from love or can dissolve in love. And one that was formed in love can be one that's kept or held from fear. Or from a state of fear, and just going back and, like you say, revisiting and asking, is this really serving well at this point, or is it time to reconsider it, and what does the new boundary look like? Healthy boundaries, like as a planet, you have an atmosphere, and you need that atmosphere as a boundary to the nothing else, and we have those boundaries, like we're all systems within systems within systems. If our cell didn't have a cell wall and a boundary, we'd fall apart. So there's definitely, especially in 3D existence or 4D existence, whatever you want to call it, there is such a thing as a healthy boundary, and we need them. But as you point out, the complexity or exploring what that looks like and whether it's still serving is a really valid exploration. Thank you.
That was great.
And yeah, fail. First attempt in learning, further attempt and fail. First attempt in learning, further attempt in learning, or final attempt in learning it's still my decision, and it's not that one of those is always right. There's always a first attempt, there's sometimes a further, it's an option, and there can be a healthy final. And again, that's an option worth that somebody else can't make for a decision like that for somebody else. It's
Hey,
always our
Sheila,
own.
I have a boundary. And that's in time.
I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks everyone for sharing. So I'll be short. I like the analogy of the blinkers, the blinders, the blinkers of the horse. That's very impactful to me. And I don't have them anymore, but I had issues about being skinny. Nobody likes that, but I did. So while everyone is paying attention to losing weight, I'm paying attention to gaining weight. Anywho, thank you, Reverend Ann. Always make us think and provoke, that further thought after we leave here. Conscious giving. Let's turn our attention to that, as your conscious giving helps to support what we do here in the sanctuary, to get it out to those who may not know of our existence and what we teach. And so you may send an e-transfer if you're not in the sanctuary itself to admin@unityspiritualcenter.com to checks, or send a check payable to Unity Spiritual Center. And for every gift that we receive, let us say the affirmation. Divine love that I am blesses all I give and all I receive. And we would also like those of you online, or even here when you look at us after the fact, to subscribe and like our videos so that we may fall into that algorithm that puts us at the top when anybody looks for our message.
You turn the news on, you get your blues on from all the negativity. It's hard to wrap yourself around what's going down on TV. You can stress it, second guess it, you can think about it way too hard. Or you can move the conversation from your head to your heart. Sometimes it's a matter of just letting go, or holding on to the one thing we know. Love wins, that's where the circle of life begins. It's the one simple lesson we're learning again and again. Love wins. Beyond that, it doesn't matter if you're on one side or the other, as long as you find a way to get along with one another. Maybe even realize to see another point of view when you look from someone else's eyes. Sometimes it's a matter of just letting go, holding on to the one thing we know. Love wins, that's where the circle of life begins. It's the one simple lesson we're learning again and again.
So next week here in person is Potluck Sunday, and maybe one day we'll be able to do it virtually too, but for now it's in person. We don't have smell-o-vision yet. So know that we're here to pray with you. So if you do have a prayer request, place it in the prayer box here or send it as an email to prayer@unityspiritualcenter.com. And let's complete this idea of prayer with the prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds you. I am the light. The love of God enfolds you. I am the love. The power of God protects you. I am the power. The presence of God watches over you. I am the presence. Wherever you are, God is. Where I am, God is. And all is well. And a wonderful song by Karen Drucker. So if you were feeling stressed, how about singing this one?
Yeah, we can dance.
Thank you, everyone. And thank you for participating. You know, we could go on and on with some topics, right? So, yes, this is something to take with you and to think about during the week and make the decision to choose to be open to a new, maybe happier life by letting go of the blinkers, the blinders, and the boundaries that are holding you back that maybe no longer serve you. So remember, I love you. exactly where you are, and I'm here to be your cheerleader every week and to give you ideas on how you might do that. So have a great week. See you next week.